Merci de faire une ovation à l'un des plus grands.
The footage you're seeing comes from the 51st César Awards in Paris. Jim Carrey walks onto the stage to accept the honorary César Award. But something feels different. The man standing on that stage appears far more composed, far more reserved than the Jim Carrey we all know. The wildly energetic, unpredictable comedian who built his career on chaos and eccentricity. It's not just his demeanor that seems different. Even his appearance has noticeably changed.
Really took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French. So, you know, I wrote it and I...
Quick.
I'm so late.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to see you.
The Grinch is one of my favorite movies.
Can I see this?
Thanks, guys.
Sorry. Have a good night.
We're short for time.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Later that evening, as the ceremony ends, Jim briefly stops to give a short interview before leaving. But once that interview circulates online, something strange begins to happen. People across the internet start asking the same question, almost obsessively. Who exactly is this man? Is this really Jim Carrey? Or could it be someone else entirely? Has he been replaced by a double? A stand-in? Believe it or not, these are the exact theories that began spreading across social media.
Это не Джим Керри. Его подменили. И вы готовы к этому разговору?
It's not just the eye color. Look at his neck. This is not Jim Carrey.
And yes, it may sound completely absurd right now. But before you dismiss it as just another internet conspiracy, wait until you see what people started noticing next. So let's take a step back and look at how all of this actually began. The story goes back to 2014, when Jim Carrey appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live. During the interview, something rather unusual happened. At one point, Carrey raised his hands and formed a triangle symbol with his fingers. The host looked confused and asked him a simple question. "What does that mean?" Carrey immediately responded with a slightly provocative tone. "What do you mean? You don't know what it means," he said. "Don't pretend you don't know." The host still seemed confused, or perhaps he was just playing along. It was hard to tell whether he genuinely didn't understand, or was simply trying to keep the moment light.
It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
But Carrey didn't stop there. He leaned in further and said something even more intriguing. According to him, the time had come, and people were beginning to realize what was really going on behind the scenes. Then he turned toward the camera and suggested that he might become a whistleblower. Moments later, he began referencing the Illuminati, saying, "I know you're all a part of it." Of course, given Jim Carrey's personality, the entire moment could easily be interpreted as humor. After all, he wasn't about to walk onto a late-night talk show and suddenly reveal secret global conspiracies. But some viewers felt there was something else hidden beneath the jokes. Almost as if, behind the humor, he was trying to hint at something deeper. Then, about a year after that interview aired, a tragic event shook Carrey's personal life. In September 2015, his girlfriend Catriona White was found dead after an apparent overdose. And for many conspiracy theorists, that moment marked the beginning of a much darker narrative. After that day, Jim Carrey was never quite the same again. He seemed to fall into a deep emotional darkness. Those close to him noticed a visible shift. The energetic, unpredictable comedian people once knew appeared more distant, more reflective. Then, about a year after the tragic death of his girlfriend, he appeared at an award ceremony in 2016 where he delivered a speech that many people still talk about today. It quickly became one of the most bizarre and unforgettable moments of his career. On stage, Carrey laughed along with the audience. But there was something unsettling about the way he looked at them, almost as if he were observing the room from a distance, as if he were staring directly at a world he no longer believed in. He smiled, yes, but behind that smile, some viewers felt a sense of disgust, even disillusionment toward what he seemed to call the fake world surrounding him.
Actually, true Jim Carrey is real original Jim Carrey. Can you answer this, please, Mr. Jim Carrey? Every fake news is saying you are not Jim Carrey. That's true or not? Please, give answer. After Epstein files, you actually say something. That's true or not? Are you true? You same man? Please answer. Please answer. Are you real Jim Carrey?
He had changed completely, not just in appearance, but in his overall demeanor. The vibrant, playful energy that once defined him seemed to have vanished. The man who once radiated joy and chaos on screen appeared exhausted, almost as if all the life had been drained out of him. It felt as though the Jim Carrey people once knew had disappeared.
Who the fuck is that? That's not Jim Carrey. I'm not saying the Illuminati got him. This is not Jim Carrey.
And someone entirely different had taken his place. And yet, to many observers, this new version of him didn't quite look like Jim Carrey at all. In fact, something about his face seemed strangely unfamiliar. Oddly enough, he even appeared younger, almost as if he had aged backward by nearly 10 years. His face looked smoother, different, almost like a completely different person. Naturally, people began examining the images more closely, and that's when the internet detectives went even further. Some pointed out that his eye color appeared different. Jim Carrey's eyes had always been described as hazel, sometimes leaning toward brown. But in several images from the event, his eyes seemed noticeably blue. Others claimed that the wrinkles around his eyes had disappeared. The sagging eyelids that usually... Interestingly, similar replacement theories have surfaced before. One of the most famous examples involved Avril Lavigne, where some internet users claimed the real singer had been replaced by a look-alike. The story spread widely online and generated massive discussion across forums and social media. Yet, like many internet conspiracies, the theory eventually faded away, leaving behind little more than a curious... If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Prime Asterium. And I'll see you in the next one.